WWDC just happened. Tim Cook's last event as CEO, his last good morning. And guess what? WWDC 2026 is an S year. This is episode 39 Tech with Josh, and that's the title. So, don't get me wrong, when I say S, I don't mean S tier, like it's the best, it's golden. No, it is the S, like we had back in the day with the iPhone 3GS, the 4S, the 5S, the 6S. It's very small. But let me talk about why. So, the big announcement for this is Siri AI. What is Siri AI? It uses the base of Gemini for Apple's LLM, large language model, and it runs on your phone. It gives you features that Gemini's already given you on Android, where it can integrate with your apps. It's essentially what we saw 2 years ago and what Apple got sued for not delivering in that massive lawsuit. It's a agentic agent that can do things on your behalf. Like if you use Apple passwords and you have a weak password, it will automatically go in with your permission and update all of your passwords. It will go to the site, log you in, and update your passwords for you, which some people might like. To me, that just means if someone wanted to, they might be able to reverse engineer it and change all my passwords. That's what it felt like to me. So, another feature that's coming to all of the devices that are supported by this is better indexing. So, apps will open a bit quicker because of the indexing. It can search better through your photos for certain things. These are big features, guys. But since it's working on older phones up to the iPhone 11, which is 7 years old at this point, it can make it feel a bit snappier, which is a good thing if you have an older device. But guess what? That's about it. It just gives you things that other AI agents can do. It can tell you what's on your screen. Okay, great. I can already do that on my Android phone. I can just take a screenshot and go chat GPT and find what I need, or Claude, Grok even. So let's talk about devices here. Like I said, the iPhone 11 supported. No Intel Macs are supported for the new macOS, which is Golden Gates. I was expecting something big, you know? Tim Cook's last hurrah, maybe announce the M5 Mac Studio, the M5 Mac Mini, Apple TV, a new one. Nope. HomePod? Nope. But guess what? macOS is called Golden Gate. We name it after the bridge. And it has minor UI tweaks with the way things look. Liquid glass on all platforms. You can adjust how much transparency or none. I don't care about that. But you get faster AirDrop. I've said in another episode I don't use AirDrop because the speed, and I use Blip. I'm still going to use Blip for things like that because I'm using Android, Windows, Mac, iPhone, iPad. So it's just giving you the AI features that you have on your iPhone or your Mac. But that's only if you're lucky, because some features are hidden behind certain devices, like customizing the voice of your Siri AI. You can customize how it speaks, the speed, the emphasis, things like that. Pretty cool. Right now, that's the only feature we know that's locked behind certain devices. What do I mean by certain devices? So, unless you have an iPhone 17 model, or an iPhone 17 or an iPhone Air, you won't get all of the features. Guess what? If you're on Mac, unless you have an empty M3 processor on your with at least 12 gigs of RAM, you won't get all of the features. And the iPad Pro, unless you have the M4 with 12 gigs of RAM or newer, you won't get all of the features. I have an iPad Pro, the 12-inch, or is it 13-inch now? I have that with M4, but I bought the base model because I don't care about the storage because I use external storage devices for my workflow. Guess what? It has 8 gigs of RAM, so I won't get all the features that Apple hasn't told us about. What features are basically paywalled. And guess what? There's 3 different AIs that they talked about. The basic Siri AI, one that works with cloud computing like Image Playground, which lets you do image generation. You can actually reframe photos. You can clean up way better now, so you won't have all those artifacting that's known for. And you can actually zoom out, kind of expand the image. So those kinds of features are now in photos, but guess what? Image Playground, when you generate images, you have daily limits because it's using cloud and that's using a lot of resources, like with Gemini, with ChatGPT. But here's the thing. If you're iCloud Plus subscriber, you get more daily limits. So that's kind of paywalled also. And you have a on-device LLM. So that might be the ones that require the certain devices. We don't know yet because Apple didn't go into it. They ended the keynote with that little asterisk. So totally the Mac. Literally it's just UI fixes and fast AirDrop. And the MacBook Neo, if you have that, you're not getting all of the features of the Siri AI because you only have 8 gigs of RAM because of the CPU. Let's go to the iPad. I wonder what they're going to bring to iPad. Are they going to bring rather multi-windows, cool new features, you know? So guess what? You get the Siri, the fast AirDrop, and fast external drive transfer speeds. Yes. That's it. So that's the big announcement for iPadOS. Let's talk about iOS, you know? Like I said, you get faster app launching speeds because of the indexing. You get all of these agentic things. You can look it up. I'm not going to go into them because I don't use most of Apple's apps, like Apple Mail. I use Outlook on my devices. So I don't know if it'll work with Outlook. Same with Calendar. I use Proton Calendar. So none of those features work for me. But on the iPhone, iOS, and iPadOS, you get new child features, which are actually cool. Like you can blur nudity on device, so if they get something with nudity, it'll be blurred out. You get better controls of like screen time. You get app controls, so if they're supposed to be in school from 8 to 3, they can only use certain apps in school. And on the weekend, they get more screen time. You have a bunch of features like that, which are real cool. I don't have any children at the moment, so I don't care about these features. But get ready for the biggest change in iOS. You get different volume controls for things like alarms and timers. Something that Android had for a while. Yeah, that's the difference. That's one of the big new features. But no, seriously, that's one of the features that they talked about. Also, smoother network transition. If you ever got off Wi-Fi and started using 4G or 5G or 3G or whatever, you'll notice that it's slow for a bit of time. And when you switch from cellular to Wi-Fi, it's still slow, so it's supposed to be smoother. And a big feature, this one I actually cared about. If you're sending a large file or video through iMessage and you start sending more messages after that, the messages will go through. And the large file or video that you're sending, you see a progress bar at the bottom. And I actually used it today because, of course, I'm running the beta on my phone and my iPad. I'm not doing it on my Mac right now. There's nothing that I need from it that will require me to use a beta. So I sent a large video and I saw the progress bar and I was able to keep typing, which is huge because sometimes I'm sending something and I start sending other messages and you have to wait. Then if it fails, you gotta resend and it's all three, so nothing goes through. So that's a actually good feature. Another feature that I just happened to come across is something that just happened with the new Android, which is AI is actually giving you subtitles. It's transcribing audio for videos that you're watching on your device. So it could be local videos that you have. You can actually get subs. So prime example, today also, my friend sent me an MP4 of a movie I'm in with him, and I was just scrubbing through it and I was able to see it. Same thing on the web, so if you're on Safari watching something that's not using its own like player and using the iOS default one, you can get the transcription. These are cool features, but it's not nothing groundbreaking. So the feature that I wanted to use with new iOS 27 is the custom EQ for AirPods. I have AirPod Pro 3s, want to use it. I still don't have it. My AirPods haven't updated. And it's been literally 11 hours right now since I've updated my iPhone. So it's alright. You also get better flyover and maps for people who care about the buildings look better and the trees have their own identity like the actual trees. Okay. And if you use iCloud shared albums, guess what? You can collaborate with Android and Windows users better so they can view, edit, add stuff easier. No limits. But that's why I said it's an S year. It has very minor tweaks and it's all about the AI, which the AI features are okay. I've been using AI long enough now that nothing speaks to me and says, hey, this is something different. When you're on the call, it can tell you if you're calling an airline, it pull up the information from your flight, from your emails, things like that. Like I said, I don't use Apple Mail. So if that's you, that's great. You can use it and say, hey, Tom texted me his address. What's his new address? And you can find it that way, which saves you scrolling. So things like that are cool. This reminds me of when Snow Leopard came out. It came out right after Leopard, and it was a $20 upgrade. And it was bug fixes and tweaks. So that's what this was. Tim Cook's final good morning, and there was not one more thing. There was no big announcement, no hardware. But hey, guess what? You can vibe code shortcuts with a simple prompt on your device because of Siri AI. You can say, hey, I want you to do this. I want you to text my wife when I leave work with an ETA for my time to come home. Okay, that's cool. But is it necessary? No. But that's really it for this episode of Tech with Josh I had to put out this week because it was WWDC, dub, as they call it. And I'm sorely disappointed because I want to buy Mac Studio. But I'll catch you guys in the next episode. See ya.